Hey, what's good, guys? Today I want to share with you why I fired my endocrinologist, basically. They're there to help us when we find out we're diabetic, and they're supposed to help us get better. But sometimes they just don't have all the tools or the willingness to really help us out the way that they should. There are some great endocrinologists out there that are able to help you and willing to help you, and they're more up to date, but some of them aren't. So that's what I'm going to share with you today, why I fired my endocrinologist. Let's go. Okay, so let me take you back to when I first got diagnosed as diabetic. We have these random tests every year. I wouldn't really say that they're random, but they're annual tests so that we can see if we can get a discount on our insurance at work. So I go and I get the test done. I think the year before I was at maybe like a 5.6 or 5.7 pre-diabetic. Well, the year I went a couple years ago, I found out that I was at a 7.5 on my A1C. So I kind of freaked out a little bit, started doing a lot of research, looking at some people online who were diabetic and trying to figure out what they did. I was finally able to get into an endocrinologist about a month after that, maybe a few weeks after that. And I go in and I sit down with them. And I tell him that, I was 7.5 on my A1C. He said, yes, you're diabetic. And I told him that I'm changing the way I'm eating and that I didn't really want to go on medication. So he kind of looks at me and says, oh, okay, well, I'm going to prescribe you something anyway. I'm like, well, you could prescribe it. I'm going to do this for a few weeks. I mean, if I can't get my A1C down by changing my eating patterns and my lifestyle, then I'll go ahead and get your medicine. But I'm not going to probably take the medicine because I'm going to really work on doing what I can to change my lifestyle. He's like, okay. So if just even from the beginning, there was no encouragement or support or like, hey, here's some other things you can do besides take medicine. I had to find that stuff out. Guess where? On YouTube. Okay. So YouTube can be a great place to get some information. Don't ever let it be the end all be all of your diagnosis though. And I am not telling you, by the way, this is not medical advice. I am not telling you, call your endocrinologist and say, you're done. I'm done with you. If your endocrinologist is really helping you. What I'm saying is I had to find somebody else that can help me change my eating habits and change what I was doing so that I could become healthier without taking medicine. So some people may need to take medicine even after they've tried all the other things, and that's fine. But what I'm sharing with you are the reasons that I got rid of my endocrinologist. Okay, so that's the first reason. So from the beginning, I went back to see him a few weeks later, and he said, okay, it looks like your blood sugar is doing better. And he said, it sounds like the medicine's working. I said, no, I'm not taking the medicine. So he's like, oh, okay, well, you're doing a good job. So, I mean, it was a little bit of encouragement. And then a few months later, I go back to see him again. And it's the same thing. He's like, oh, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, just keep doing it because you're doing a good job. So yes, there was some type of encouragement, if you will, but there was no advice from him on how to keep it up. His whole premise was medication. And I just didn't want to be a part of that. And again, like if I get a headache, I try to wait it out. But if it gets really bad, I'll take some medicine. I'm not one of these people who's completely anti-medicine. I'm just medicine when it's absolutely necessary. But if there's a way to change my eating habits and change my lifestyle and get my A1C under control that way and reverse my diabetes, then that's what I want to do first. And that's the type of endocrinologist that I wanted. So one of the things that I did is I found out that my employer offered a program and they just started offering it that year. It was a program through a company called Virta. And they sent me all of the strips and everything, and they have meal plans and all of this stuff on their website. Now, you may not be able to afford that and your insurance may not cover it. And I understand that and I get it, but there are other options out there if you can't go through Virta. There's some great endocrinologists out there who can help you change the way you eat and the way that you live and get your A1C under control without taking the medicine. Now, some of you are like, hey, I'd rather take the medicine and eat whatever I want to eat. And that's fine. That's up to you. But I'm just sharing this for people who are like me that say, hey, look, I can change what I'm eating and be healthy without having to worry about taking medicine. So the other reason I fired my endocrinologist was because I had to ask him to send me in a prescription for a continuous glucose monitor. In my opinion, if you have diabetes and your insurance covers it, they should always offer you that, because it has been one of the best ways for me to know what does and doesn't affect my blood sugar. And to give you an example, the other day I ate something which I had eaten before and it didn't affect my blood sugar, because before when I had eaten it with some protein. But when I ate what I ate, all of a sudden my blood sugar is going up and I'm wondering why it's going up. So now I know because my sensor alerted me to that. Without the sensor, I might have checked my blood sugar later in the evening and been like, oh, I'm fine. I would have not known what it was that was affecting my blood sugar. So if your insurance covers you for getting a continuous glucose monitor and your endocrinologist doesn't want you to have it, that's another reason, in my opinion, to question whether or not that might or might not be the right endocrinologist for you. Okay, because for me, that was one of the reasons. So he did prescribe it, but I had to ask for it. And I had to tell him which one I wanted. Okay, now the third reason I fired my endocrinologist is because, now I know this is crazy, he has a Gmail address or a Yahoo email address. He doesn't have an email address for his website. I'm like, this is completely unprofessional, in my opinion. I'm supposed to be sending you medical information or information through email about appointments, and you're not even on a secure website. I'm sending this to like a Yahoo or a Gmail email address. I mean, to me, that's completely unprofessional. Now, I don't think many endocrinologists out there have that situation, so mine was probably on the extreme, so I get that. But for me, I was like, I'm not going to do that. And by the way, going back to the continuous glucose monitor thing, there's a way for me to set this up for my Freestyle Libre 3 that I can send them notifications and things like that so that they would be able to get those. And he said, no, we don't want to be signed up for that. So my own endocrinologist doesn't want to get notifications or be able to go in and look at my glucose levels on my Freestyle Libre 3. I need an endocrinologist or somebody who can help me with this and see what's going on. So I'm saying all this to say this. If you have an endocrinologist that you don't feel is supporting you and helping you achieve your goals, look, they may not tell you everything you like, and sometimes that's fine, because sometimes we need the hard truth. But if you have someone that's not helping you or supporting you or guiding you in a way where you can get or use the minimum amount of medicine and still be able to control your diabetes, then you may not be with the right endocrinologist. Now, if you're all down with using whatever medication you have to use so you can eat 3 bowls of pasta a day, then that's fine. Go ahead and stay with the person that you're at if that's what they're giving you. But if you're like me and you're looking for someone who can help you be able to change your eating habits and change your lifestyle and control your diabetes that way, then it may be time to consider or reconsider who your endocrinologist is. And again, this is not medical advice. Don't just cut your endocrinologist off and not have somebody there to help you. Always have somebody there to help you. Always have an endocrinologist if you're diabetic so that they can help you, but make sure you find the one that's going to help you the best. So with that being said, make sure that if you know somebody who's diabetic, who's struggling, that you share this video with them. Make sure that you like this video down below, you subscribe to my channel, and hit the little notification icon, the little bell, so every time I do a video, you'll be notified, because I do videos like this, and I do videos where I review foods and share that with people so that if you're diabetic or you're trying to eat low carb, you can eat healthy and not sacrifice on the taste. All right, thanks for sharing your time with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time with some more Low Carb Lowdown.